Last time on Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater. Ramses and Viva made their way back through the hidden temple of Kelnar, only ended up battling each other in a fight over the Great Crystal. Juan joined Earth and began her research into Limbo to save the city of Fossa from the Protean beasts attacking it. Arlox Bachiman stomped off after a spat with Cersei and headed through the mountains to the tent city of Manitos he had heard about through the Blinding Light Guild, but ended up passing through Grimlock territory, while Cersei tried to find a quick and easy way to get from Covenston to Fosse to rejoin her other allies. Jacques spied on Aristophanes and Kit, using his bracer plotting with Juan to find the Great Crystal, and after losing track of them, headed towards their destination, the Great Crystal of Kelnar, and contacted Cersei for answers on how to find it, with Alec listening in and taking notes the entire time. But Jacques found himself among a quickly changing landscape, and climbed over a newly emerged iron wall into sandworm territory, which he snuck through, but had encountered and decided to befriend a strange beast that spotted him at the base of the brand new mountain. And now, Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater continues.
I don't mean you any harm. I'm just trying to get out of the sandstorm and away from that huge monster out there.
You say that?
Yeah, I'm saying that. Diplomacy.
Alright, roll me diplomacy.
24.
We'll nod, and you'll gain the sense that it's welcome you into its cave to hide from the storm. You even sort of think you hear in your head, like, hide with me.
I introduced myself as Jacques.
Alright, you approach a beast and introduce yourself as Jacques. Yak Shedu. Yeah, you hear all this in your mind.
Can I shake his hand?
Well, it's more like a hoof, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to shake his hoof.
You shake his hoof. Diplomacy check.
21.
Alright. He seems confused as what is the meaning of this?
Showing peace. Showing that I mean you no harm. And I appreciate you letting me in here.
I think we'll welcome that gesture. You guys will hide in the cave and hide right out the storm together.
Sure.
The storm continues for 5 nights. What do you guys do in this cave for 5 nights? Any stories to share?
Yeah, I want to tell him about how I'm looking for my nephew and someone named Aristophanes. They're going to find this great crystal, and I'm following them because they left me in an inn.
You don't seem to be doing a very good job following them.
They have their tricks as do I, which I thought I did, but apparently not.
Tricks?
Well, you saw how I could multiply. They turn into a vapor and disappeared in front. Being completely honest with this guy.
It's like, I only see what is true. I saw no such thing. I see only you. You sense this creature has true sight. Just naturally.
Kind of like that fart you made.
I have dino meat. Can I offer him some dino meat?
Yeah.
Hungry friend.
I mean, he says, not my usual diet. He says, but if you'll share it with me, I'd love to share a meal. Maybe we could share some knowledge, share some stories. You tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what I know.
Okay, well, I'll tell him everything that Cersei's explained to me over the bracer. That's the way to get to the crystal.
Alright, so Shado says,
For such a check, you never turn that shit off. I want to know if you can beat if I can do this.
Shado, well, you hear like Jacques talking to himself, because Shado would respond telepathically, but you might still hear him talking to himself. He says, this mountain is full of rocks, as I see rocks all the time, although I've been asleep for a very long time. He says, I was hibernating. I was trapped underneath this mountain and surrounded by piles of sand. So to preserve my own life, I slept for as long as I could. I can once again roam the desert in peace. The sandstorm seems to have ended, my friend. I think I might go for a walk. He walks out of the cave. He says, look at me, walking around the desert. Look at me, I'm walking around. In your head. And he starts clomping his hooves and doing a little clompy hoof dance. And then out of the sand rises the sandworm and swallows him up. Gulp. And back down in the sand. He was so excited to get out of the cave. Yeah, you can anti-hero point. How do you use this anti-hero point? Get creative with it. I love anti-hero points. What do you do to prevent his death?
Whip my dick and wave it at him. Be like, no, man, come on. Don't go out there. All the fun's in here.
Alright, I'll let you, if you roll a diplomacy check with that, maybe you can try to seduce this Shadu with your little fox dick.
22.
Shadu's kind of lonely and you guys have had cabin fever for 5 days, so you can convince him to stay in the cave, at least for that one day, using your dick.
Alright, I'm gonna tell him not to go out there. Remember
Alright,
that
so
giant
after you guys cuddle for a while, you warn him.
Pillow talk?
I don't ever want you to go outside, baby. I'm afraid you might get hurt. 'Cause if you're gonna go, you're gonna go with me. You're gonna teach you how to walk stealthily.
Yeah. Can I train him to light step?
Yeah. It takes you 9 days, but you teach this thing with hooves how to walk very slowly and very quietly. He sort of gets the hang of learning how to tiptoe as a bull man. And thanks you. And I think roll me a diplomacy check, but if it's good, I think you guys might be friends now.
18.
So this guy considers you a friend now. You know, you've taught him how to light step, you cuddled with him in the cave, and you fed him, and you guys hung out and shared stories over the course of 3 days, and you gave him information. So yeah, he's your buddy now. You guys are hanging out in your man cave.
I want to ask him if you'd help me find this crystal, but if you would care to join me, and then I could teach him further things along the way.
Says Yak loves to learn.
As my student, I want to call you Cowabunga.
Says, I take this as great honor. We change our names at important parts of our life, and I feel like this may be the beginning of a new story for me. So yes, my name is now Cowabunga. Roll me a survival check to start climbing this mountain.
14. Can I try to diplomacy check to see, because he's probably better at moving up rocky terrain. If he could carry me, I could ride him.
Yeah, you want to try diplomacy check to see if he would let you ride him?
That's a 20.
You sense the Shadu kind of hesitant to be ridden. He says, well, I don't know. I guess we've become pretty good friends over the past couple of days, but I don't really know a whole lot about you. Jacques, what's your alignment?
Yeah, neutral.
Cowabunga would say he's not sure about you. He said, I need to be sure that you're a good person. He says, I've been alone in that cave for a long time and had lots of dreams and lots of thoughts about the struggle between good and evil. And he says, I want to make sure you're not here to threaten me or threaten anyone else. Whose side are you on?
I'm on the side of my family who I want to find.
He says, that sounds like a good cause. Roll a ride check to try and mount this thing.
Can I acrobatics check onto him?
Yeah, you can jump up on there like that. You'll land it, but you'll be standing. You still have to roll a ride check to ride it, but I'll let you acrobatics up onto its back.
Yeah. 21.
Yeah, you do a flip up onto the back of him, land it on your feet, and then sit down and mount it as best as you can. Hug his neck, stroke his chest hair.
Yeah, and then I'll ride.
And you say, Cowabunga, dude, away.
I rolled a 16.
Alright, so it's kind of a rough ride, but luckily Cowabunga's good at these hills, so you're not moving at a very fast pace, but you are moving up this mountain. You're moving at a pretty decent speed, pretty steep incline, but there seems to be lots of like flat, rocky outcroppings that this Shady is able to leap from.
I want to give him compliments. You're killing it, Cowabunga.
Yeah. He says, I'm having so much fun on this adventure. So he pops you up at the top, and you guys land at the base of the helmet. Dome are two glowing red lights above a large half-circle door. It's like balanced kind of precariously, but it's like right on the top of the mountain, like it's a helmet that's like tilted on the top of the mountain, but it's a temple in the shape of a helmet almost. And you've walked into what would be the mouth almost of the face inside the helmet. And the rest of the face is composed of rock.
Beforehand, can I suggest that we take a sleep? Because he's probably tired.
Tugged out.
Yeah, he just carried.
Yeah. He'll rest here in the steps. And says he has no interest in walking into someone's mouth. He'd rather wait outside anyway.
Well, I'm gonna take a rest.
Yeah, you guys sleep together outside the temple one last night.
Alright, go into the temple, I guess.
Alright, you go into the temple. You use the information you just recently got from Cersei on how to beat all those riddles. Roll me a knowledge history check to see how much of that stuff you remember.
That's a 19.
Yeah, you remember enough of it to get all the way to the last room, which is the room that fills with quicksand. How do you avoid that danger? As all the tiles slowly slink into the floor.
Oh, I'm going to do acrobatics onto the ceiling.
Alright, how do you stick to the ceiling? Give me a climb check. Roll me a acrobatics to jump up there and then a climb to like grab along or something.
Or what about, can I do this acrobatics to the wall? Start climbing along the wall?
Well, you can climb the walls. Or you can acrobatics them tirelessly while all the tiles fall down. You just like run in a circle along the edge of the wall. Well, the door won't open until all the tiles disappear, so you have to run around in a circle until all the tiles sink to the floor.
I'm just going to jump onto the side of the wall and hold myself up.
Alright, so roll me an acrobatics to jump up there and then a climb to hold on.
21, 20.
That's a good climb. So you're able to hold on for dear life. The floor finishes sinking in. You want to acrobatics your way to the open door now?
21.
Yeah, you do a cool fox jump off the wall, tuck and roll. You roll into the labyrinth. Bump, bump, bump. You bump into the legs of the Minotaur, who's staring down at you and breathes a big puff of steam out of its nose, which sort of like illuminates your shape for a second. You can tell by looking up at its junk since you hit its legs that it has no penis.
Can I do a reflex check to kind of like get away from him?
Yeah, to bounce bounce the other way. If you hit his legs, yeah, you can roll me a reflex save. Maybe like go between his legs or go around them just barely.
Like how he's there's no dick.
25, yeah, I want to slap it between his legs.
Alright, with a 25, I'll say that you're able to, like, at the last second, like, twist and, like, do a roll between his legs and just barely bump him. So you still, like, the seam still comes down and it catches your feet. You know that you touched this thing and maybe it noticed, but you're now behind it instead of bumped into his legs. But only 5 feet behind it.
Can I just slowly back up? Like,
You want to take a 20 and stealthily back up?
Wait, do it.
Yeah.
If you're taking a 20.
Yeah, you stealthily back up until you hit the wall, which is about another 5 feet away. So the thing is still, like, staring out into the room that just opened, like it's waiting for someone to come in. And it kind of looks down at its leg and, like, brushes at itself and starts looking around. It doesn't see you, even though you're 5 feet away.
Is there a exit anywhere in the room?
The one you just came in, and then there's a hallway to your left and right.
Roll knowledge history if Cersei told me which way to go once you're on the labyrinth.
Yeah.
Cersei would have told him that he needed to use the Minotaur to get to the end of the labyrinth. That's how we've done it every time. I would have told him to, use the Minotaur.
Okay, I rolled a 19.
Alright, so you remember her saying use the Minotaur, but now that you're standing there, this thing's pretty large. It's, like, even though you rolled up against the wall, you're still, like, pressed up against the wall. It's taking up the entire hallway. Like, if you move at all forward, you're gonna hit this thing. So you're just, like, scrunched up against the wall, trying to touch this giant thing that's staring out it's a massive beast with a heavy bronze mask covering most of its face. It's got big hooves.
I got someone you gotta meet.
Yeah, I could set you up.
I have no pertinent information besides the fact that I've used the Minotaur that I raised from the dead. I've rekilled it as a zombie to guide me to the crystal.
Yeah, and you would see this is a zombie Minotaur.
Well, I guess I should announce myself in the room if I could have used the Minotaur. Hello, friend?
Alright, he spins around and says, "Who's there?"
Friend of Cersei.
'Cause I've never met a Cersei in my life. Who goes there? I'm supposed to protect this labyrinth or whatever, and I'm gonna kinda do it or whatever, if I feel like it. And today I feel like it.
Well, I mean you no harm. I'm looking for my nephew, a colleague of mine, who came this way.
It says, "Oh, you mean the two in the room with the great crystal?"
Yes, that must be them.
I'll take you to them. Roll me a diplomacy check to see if that actually happens. I assume it's good enough. If not, we're gonna fight.
20.
Yeah, see, it's good enough.
God, that was...
Yeah, you were able to sweet talk. He's like, "I can't see you, but I guess follow me if that's your brother. Because I don't have a family, I was adopted. I guess you guys are my family now."
Yeah, I introduced myself
You
to
got a
him.
stage 5 clinger, bud.
Yeah.
I have a friend outside you, me, who's been sleeping at the base of this mountain.
Oh, yes.
for some
Just
time.
follow me deeper into this labyrinth to your two friends. We'll talk about that later. You follow him deeper into the labyrinth, twists and turns. It's very confusing. Then you reach the crystal chamber, and there you see a passed out Viva Caligula and a meditating ogre boy in suspenders and a t-shirt, jeans, and medieval sneakers. On his shirt is written, "Gone to Covenston," or something like, "I love you," in blood.
What about Cooter?
Can I go and try to heal check Viva?
You can sneak over and see how Viva Caligula's doing. Yeah, he's unconscious. A little heal check to try and help out. Do you have a heal kit? All you can do with a heal check really be is ascertain his
Put my finger
wounds.
under his nose and like, yep, he's alive.
Yeah, you can tell he's breathing. Looks like he got beat up. Big dude, though. Really big dude. The ogre's pretty big, too. I mean, it seems to be a teenage ogre. Not as large as some ogres you've encountered, but still it's an ogre, so... a teenage ogre's at least the size of a normal human, so a large man.
Okay.
And then
You
this...
know Viva.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And this is definitely Viva that you're inspecting, but Viva seems to be larger than he used to be.
Well, I'm gonna touch the crystal.
Alright, you roll me some... I guess you could take a 20 on the stealth if you want. Sneak over the crystal while this guy's meditating and the other guy's unconscious, so you feel like you could probably sneak up and not draw anyone's attention. You reach up and touch the crystal. You feel the power of the crystal flowing through your body.
Just to make things interesting, can I roll a perception check for Cooter?
Well, she can't see him. He's invisible. He's taking a 20 on the stealth, so I don't think Cooter's going to know that he's there.
That's a good point. I forgot he's invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'll stand aside.
Cooter's there in her bath. There you are. You touch the crystal. You feel the power of the island surging through you. You feel connected to everything. All the pieces of land that this crystal touches, you feel the power over. You feel like in your mind you can see the whole country from the whole continent from here. Yeah, you feel a divine connection to your god here.
I'm gonna slit my own hand with a blade.
You put your bloody hand on the crystal.
Hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Alright, you leave a bloody handprint on the crystal, so while this guy's meditating and the other guy's unconscious, you leave a bloody handprint on the crystal. I mean, you feel the power of the crystal, you feel the power of Urgatho right now. You can make something happen right now if you really want it. Or if you want to use a mythic point, because you are now mythic if you're touching the crystal for the first time. You are now fully connected to the power of the crystal. You can use a mythic point to make things happen, make a wish. More than just mythic, you're in touch with the crystal. And you've slit yourself to have a divine communication with your god. So what is it that you want?
You let me, if I could have a ranged weapon, like a shuriken.
I'll roll a percentage chance and we'll see which what happens. You're going to be granted an Urgathoan Darkstar, a black tumor that will now grow out of your skin here on your chest, on your left, right below your left shoulder. It'll be a raised, misshapen star. In areas of dark shadow, it will create an aura of darkness around you. It says, and when it does that, you can withdraw the shadow. You can take the shadow away and form it into a physical shuriken and throw it. It'll have the same stats as a normal shuriken. Except that if you are able to kill someone with a shuriken, if you do the final blow with a shuriken, it'll be considered a sacrifice to Urgathoa. When the star is back in your chest, you may raise it from the dead. You must go and retrieve the star from the area on their body that killed them. Do a coup de grace, and doing that will release the soul to Urgathoa and they'll rise as a zombie. Not under your control, but a zombie.
You better not let me know that you have that.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, oh my god! Yeah.
Alright. If you tell Cersei something out loud, I'll pause it there to give everyone else a perception check to hear you talking to Cersei.
Cersei only got a 12 anyway, so I wasn't really listening.
Natural one.
And maybe they'll hear you talking and wake up. Harlox Machimin.
I had just gotten past the valley.
I know that you had encountered some Grimlocks or something, right?
Yeah, in the valley, and I had, levitated / misted past them, so I think I'm right outside of, or at least in the mountains, right outside of that town to the east of the sea.
Talk about Manitos. It's not really a town as much as it is like a tent city with like a makeshift wall around it and jaguars guarding the entrance. So as you approach, the jaguars start to snarl and howl at you, and a lot of the guards are alerted.
I roll a perception check, so it's just like, it's like a tent city.
Yeah, there seem to be several banners flying over the different large tents behind this large wall made of logs.
I got 23 on perception. So,
you see, like I said, jaguars kind of surrounding the wall, snarling at you, guards holding some of them on leashes, as you approach.
Alright, yeah, I'll walk on out.
But you seem to be human, so they just want to question, they don't seem to want to attack you. There's like, who goes there?
I'll give them my name, and I've been traveling, want a place to rest up. You'll let me in.
They'll ask you a series of questions. They'll make you look into a mirror. They bring a live chicken out in front of you and kind of wave it in your face. They ask if you'd like to make a deal.
A deal maker?
So what kind of deal would you like to make?
What kind of deal are you looking for?
Well, they said, we assumed you came here selling something.
I've got all kinds of stuff to sell. Things maybe you haven't seen. Lots of space things.
Come bearing strange magical items, eh? What do we have to promise you to get this?
Just safe passage in your town.
How do you feel about dicks?
Photo. That's a natural 20.
You'll notice he's wearing a protective cod piece, almost like a chastity belt. He's wearing some sort of protective underwear. Something you wish you had whenever you were in Covenston.
Yeah, alright, well, I'll tell him I like having my dicks not snatched. I've had a run-in with the Covington people, and it did not fare well.
They say, search his bag. They're going to search your bag. How many dicks do you have in your bag?
I have 4 left.
Alright, they're going to see this and say, where'd you get all these dicks from?
Covington.
So you went into Covington? Are you an idiot?
Yeah.
You're a bunch of dick snatchers, don't you know that?
Well,
and you still have your dick. He reaches down and grabs your dick and says, yeah, see? He says, I think we got a witch here, fellas. He's got a bag of dicks. He's got his own dick. He says, I bet it's a man witch. You're a man witch, aren't you? He tries to start convincing the other lords that they should stone you.
No, I've had my dick stolen twice, and I left the city in a hurry and grabbed as many dicks as I could.
Alright, roll me a diplomacy check with that, 'cause that's true.
That's a nat 20 plus 20, so 40.
Alright, I guess they'll say we understand your situation. A lot of our men have lost their dicks as well, so...
Well, I'd be very happy to give away my remaining dicks.
Alright, would you help attach them? They don't know how to do these things.
Yeah, I'll pass rejuvenation or whatever.
You reward 3 of his best soldiers that had lost their dicks in Covington with new dicks. Dicks of honor.
Dicks of honor.
They now have those 3 dicks from that grab bag.
I got one left though. Nature in charge needs a dick or something, but I got.
The guy in charge still has his dick because he has a very good protective underwear, but he's always wanted a second dick. So if you'll give him a second dick.
Alright, yeah. Alright, that works. No more dicks.
Alright. You, to the best of your ability, help magically install extra dicks on all these guys.
What's the guy that has 2 dicks now, his name? I'll introduce myself. My name's Harlock. I'm a wandering healer.
Yep, he's the leader of the Hag Slayers. His name is Lord Melnek. He wishes to capture and burn all the witches, take them away from the coven where they're weaker. He says, so they've kidnapped many witches. He has some witches in caves or in cages here in his tent city. She plans to, torture for information and then kill or, put them to trial. He's been trying to weaken the coven and says the hags took over that town, stole it, and now men aren't safe there, and so they fled to this tent city and they started their own, group of hag slayers that fights back against the coven haters.
Eat man, woman haters. Alright.
They say they offer you some protective underwear if you'll join their cause.
I will totally join their cause.
Alright, you now get a protective codpiece.
Is it protection against magic dick stealing too? Or?
Yeah, they get a resistance, so it's a 50% chance that magic fails against your dick. It's kind of heavy, they're really heavy underwear, but it does prevent your dick from being stolen by sleight of hand 100% of the time, unless they can get them off. And they're protected by a masterwork lock, which you have the key to, which you can store wherever you like to store the key to your codpiece.
Why didn't I have one of these earlier? That's great.
Yeah. You would notice that everyone in this part of the tent city has one. That seems to be a common thing among the Hag Slayers. All the men have them. That's like their armor. A lot of them don't even wear shirts or any other armor. They just wear the codpieces and carry swords. And so they go and capture these women and get them as far away from the coven as possible where they're the weakest. Because apparently they're stronger, near other witches. So they try to get them whenever they're away from the city and capture them one by one and wipe them out. They're trying to slowly take back over the city.
Alright, now I'm in the city. Can I roll perception, see what they got going on in here? I assume it's a small city, more like a town.
So it's got kind of a log wall around it, several large tents, a big gate, fort sort of in the center that's a share with a smither and a hall, and their jail, sort of all the resources they share there, but they have their separate 4 tents kind of around it. But like the infirmary, and their shop are all in that one larger, it's more like a flea market area surrounded by tent cities. But there are Lord Noble's tents, there are 4 of them. There's the one that the area you're sort of in, Lord Milneck's area, the Hag Slayers. Their symbols of swords that stab through the moon. There's like a crescent moon with a sword through it. Is the symbol on their flag. Just flying everywhere. They're selling like banners that you can carry into battle. They have a very strict code of conduct. They blame the witches in the coven for the evil that faces the island. Any kind of bad weather or bad luck is blamed on the witches. So there's guys that'll tell you stories tonight when you're hanging out in the campfire with these guys of the time they went to Cranberries and lost all their money, and it was the witches' fault. And there was the time that they had the growing crops in Fairman and it didn't work out, and it was the witches' fault. So pretty much everyone here is like blaming the witches for pretty much everything that's wrong in their lives, and you'll probably do the same right now. Because you're like, my life was going pretty good until those damn witches tried to jerk my dick off. So it says everyone just complaining about the witches in this tent city. They carry around mirrors with them, try to take good care of their hair. A brown-haired, green-eyed, well-kept, clean-looking guy.
Tell me, I like to ask them, what are those things running around the valley down there?
Oh, the Grimlocks. He says they've existed in these mountains for a long time. He says it's best to just avoid them. You'll notice your codpiece has that same moon and sword symbol on it, and the values this guy seems to espouse to you once you put on the codpiece, he seems very pious. They seem to be very sexless, very clean, hygiene being important.
I got some presents he might like for him. I'm going to give him my deodorizer and my cleansing wand.
He cleans himself. He's amazed by your technology. Of course, they'll only last as long as your batteries do.
I'll give him my last battery.
So yeah, you're definitely welcomed into their fold. He-Man Woman Haters, the Hag Slayers of Covenston. They'll want you to participate in their game of luring witches away from the town and killing them one by one.
Do you know anything about this town, Foci?
They're not concerned with Foci, they're concerned with regaining Covenston. That's their main focus is all on the witches.
Yeah, I just thought I heard, last time I was in Covington, I heard something about Foci, so I didn't know if I could...
They know it's a city within a great crystal ball. They said they've been there a couple times, but it doesn't seem to be a very interesting place. The locals aren't very nice.
I just thought it might be a nice place to snag some witches outside of their stronghold.
Alright, well then they say, if you think that's a good idea, why don't you go scout one out there, and if you bring back your first witch for trial here, we'll reward you.
Fair enough.
So you'll head to Foci and try and catch your first witch bounty. Where's the key to your codpiece?
It's in a special place.
It's in his butt, dude. We all know it's in his butt.
Alright.
That's where I was gonna hide it, but now it affects Brian somewhere different.
Still gonna be in the butt.
Alright, well, I'll tell the Lord of the Hagslayers. I'm gonna go scout Foci and see if the rumors I heard were true. I'm gonna follow the beach instead of going through the valley.
So yeah, you'll follow the beach along the smaller hills, heading west. Roll me a survival check.
19 on survival.
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
18.
Yeah, it's pretty rainy and dark during a lot of your journey, but you make it pretty safely along the coastline, avoiding most of the wild things that live in the mountains. You do see, from where you are, the ocean. You can see pretty far out, and it seems to get really, really dark, like a darker shade of blue, just offshore from where you are. And that kind of recedes the closer you get to the next town, which is Fo, the city within a giant glass ball. So you seem to be walking up to what looks like a giant snow globe city. Only one entrance.
Well,
You don't know what doors look like.
Yeah, there seem to be two guards there that will like open the doors for you. Some sort of like manual chain lift doors that they open up and you're able to. They don't seem to be. There's no sort of fees posted or anything like that. They seem to be pretty, welcoming. Some of the writing's sort of strange, but otherwise, that's pretty normal walking into a new city, different language maybe.
shit. I'll do a linguistics check, see if I can recognize the language. 3.
Yeah, definitely no.
Alright, I'll walk right in.
You enter the city of Fo. Very nice city, full of a hedge garden, lots of beautiful hedges, like Edward Scissorhands style, cut into like various shapes. Lots of nice topiary. Very few other things. A couple small like shop areas, a couple small houses. The locals all seem to avoid you, like they seem to run inside their houses when you're nearby, or lock up the door, or, vanish around the corner when you come looking. So you can't seem to get within 30 feet of any of the locals.
Alright, I'm gonna do perception, like 21.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys with capes that say lawn wranglers on the back. But yeah, they seem to be all over the place, trimming the hedges that are surround most every city, like almost all the city. There seem to be very few buildings here besides, save a few houses and a few small shops in the center of town. There's a broom, what they call the broom closet. That's called Larry's Fine Jewels, the container shop, the tool shed, Shady's House of Candles, the rug warehouse, Roos's Toys and Games, Stuffin's Pharmacy, Newton's Gifts and Collectibles, House of Mirrors, Gary's Shoes, and Clef's Clothes and Accessories. There's a smithy that's locals only posted. There's a bank that's locals only posted. There's a bureau that's also posted locals only. Courthouse, same thing. The pier is outside the gate of the city, so you have to leave the city to get to their pier, which doesn't seem to have many boats because it's near this very stormy, dark sea. There's going to be a whole lot of ships coming in and out through Fo. And they have a Fo bar, also in the center of town. A very small bar. You have to go inside to know more, but it doesn't seem very large.
Of course, I'm gonna go to the bar.
Yeah, you go to the bar. Finally away from the prying eye of the giant wizard face that was following you as you were walking around, looking down you from the ceiling. And maybe it's your paranoia from being sort of evil and stuff, but you felt like it was watching you.
Is it like the Jesus size, where like they follow you no matter where you move?
This is a giant face that appears in the globe above you, and the eyes are so big that you feel like it could see everything. Sort of ghost-like, but the face is definitely staring down at you and everyone else. You feel like it's not just maybe it's not even just watching you. You feel like it's watching everybody. Hey, you go to Fo Bar. Bartender asks, "What do you have?"
What's your local drink?
He says, "Fo Ale."
Can you spell that out for me?
Foale. He looks at you sort of confusedly.
Checking. I'll buy a glass and sit down.
Alright, it's 3 gold.
I'm just gonna like dig around for like an hour and then order another one.
Yeah, you and the bartender seem the only people there the entire time. You dick around, drink another beer. He serves you another beer for another 3 gold. You drink it. You start feeling sort of buzzed.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him, so what's with the club around the city?
I'm not much into reading the history books and whatnot, but I guess some wizard built the globe to protect the city a long time ago. All the wizards have died off now.
You know what he was trying to protect it from? Like, thunderstorms?
He says, "Oh, I don't know, but I guess it works. We're still here, safe and sound, huh? You and me, pal."
Do you know any historians? I'll buy him a shot or an ale or whatever.
Oh, he says, "Oh, no, thank you. I don't drink at work." He says, "No, I don't really know too many people. We don't get a whole lot of business here at the tavern. Every now and then tourists like you come through."
Who runs Fo then?
He says, "What do you mean runs, Fo?"
Autonomous Collective.
This is why I run the bar info, and I guess Kleps runs Kleps clothes, and Gary's runs Gary's shoes. You know, we all kind of run our own business, and things kind of work out, I guess. People come, people go. We all know each other, and I guess as long as we stay away from any strangers that might come to town, we're not in any danger. I guess that's why they don't come to the bar. They're afraid there might be tourists here they'll have to talk to.
So there's no repercussions then for doing whatever the hell you want in town?
He says, oh, I don't know. The hedge wizards watch everything.
Well, where can I meet these hedge wizards then, I guess is what I'm hitting at.
He says, oh, the lawn wranglers? He says they're outside manning the topiary right now.
Alright. Well, I appreciate your time. I'm going to tip them 2 gold.
Alright, it takes you 2 gold.
And then, yeah, I'll head back out.
Yeah, you leave the bar, you don't really feel that drunk anymore, but you're outside the bar, sort of sobered up, looking around.
Yeah, I'll track down the nearest non-ranger.
There's at least one in the area that you're in right now. He's really busy trimming a bush.
I'm really digging this dome situation you got going on here.
Love your town, bro.
I love your dome. Can you, tell me anything about it? It seems to keep you all safe. It seems like a great idea for every town.
So the first thing he says you don't understand. It's in the language you don't recognize. Unless you want to roll me a really high linguistics.
That's a sweet-ass 16. I cast comprehend languages.
You cast what?
Comprehend languages?
You'll kind of get the idea of what they're saying is they don't speak common. So the idea of what they're saying is no common, basically. You have trouble understanding it really, but you definitely get the idea. They're telling you they don't understand what you're saying, and you don't understand what they're saying.
I'll say it in Sylvan.
Alright, you say it in Sylvan. Same response. Yeah, they seem to be just replying no common to you. Even no matter what you say, whatever language you say it.
Now they're out there trimming hedges and shit.
There's one guy around you right now who's trimming a bush right outside the bar.
I summon my spiritual weapon, which is a scythe, and I just have that thing to go to town on the hedges and do his job and crush it.
You start hacking in a bush. Roll me
Act in a good way. Pruning.
Trimming. Not
Well, do you have a skill check for pruning? Or do you want to roll an attack versus the bush, and if it's really high, let that be doing it really well? Then you have to tell me what you're trying to carve, and give me some kind of roll that excuses how you know how to carve bushes. Is this a skill you have from some kind of previous training? You think anyone could just grab a scythe and start hacking at bushes and make beautiful artistic shapes?
If I roll a high knowledge nature, maybe?
Then I think that would give you a knowledge about the trees. I don't think it would make you good at shaping them into animals and other objects.
You're not a landscaper.
I need a skill check of some sort, or I need you to do a really high roll that says that you're very good with this weapon. Otherwise, you're just gonna chop at a bush and try to sort of fuck it up a little bit.
See?
Look what I did.
Never chose a profession. Maybe I should choose gardener now.
Landscape.
You're taking a profession. Garden. No, I'm gonna. What's
Horticulturalist.
Horticulturalist.
Alright, so you have a specialty in healing plants. I mean, you are a healer, right? That's kind of your class also. So It makes sense that you would know about healing plants, things of that nature. You've studied that in your past. You're a scientist. You come from a very research-oriented family. You've probably done lots of plant research.
Alright. Perception check. Are there any dope-ass flowers around here? It's only a 12. Are there any decent-ass flowers around here?
No, I mean, all you see are these same topiaries. They seem to be all the same green bush. They're very beautiful. Like I said, the topiary garden is amazing. They have lots of crazy shapes, lots of things carved out of it. Very creative topiary, but nothing besides that. They have no rare flowers. No, there's not even any animals in the gardens. It's just these multiple statuesque plants.
First off, I'm gonna point at the bush and be like, aha, and create water on it.
Okay, it gets wet and just keeps cutting the plant like he's this is my job.
I'm gonna cast minor image near where I just cast water, and I want the dopest looking flower to grow ever out of the ground.
Alright, you create the illusion of a flower.
Yeah.
This wizard cuts it.
Cuts it? I can cut an illusion.
How do you cut an illusion? It's a good question, my friend. This guy seems to know how to cut illusions. That's impressive.
What kind of person can cut him?
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
You're surrounded by magic.
Now I can be a dick, and then be a nice guy.
Why don't you just be nice instead?
Well, I've already tried to. I'm asking the motherfucker. Good enough to help.
You'll start noticing where the more powerful magic ores are coming from. And it does seem to be the center of town seems to be where the most strong amount of magic is coming from, near the shops. If you keep it up for a third round, you'll notice that which locations seem to be the strongest orders, like which shops. And if you make a Knowledge Arcana skill check, you might be able to determine the school of magic involved. Or maybe a spellcraft.
11.
Yeah, you don't know a whole lot. But you do know that these buildings seem to be the source of magic. That's kind of what you pick up. That, like, the center of town seems to be... the largest amount of magic is taking place.
I'm going to... Can I just levitate up to the top of the dome?
Are you cast levitating yourself? That same one hedge wizard that was watching before is like watching you from the top of his ladder. He's trimming a topiary and he's watching you go up and hit the ceiling. And he kind of laughs a little bit, but he keeps cutting his hedge. You're just like up against the top of the dome now.
Is the face still the same size? So like.
Yeah. You're all like you're up on its forehead right now.
I'm gonna land on the ground, cast obscuring mist, and run through the city. Try and hide while I go smoke a cigarette.
All right, you try to cast obscuring mist, but nothing happens. There's no mist. You still wasted the spell slot. You still tried to cast it, so the spell slot is still used, but there's no mist around you.
You know what's a cool town? Fucking He-Man woman haters now.
Like,
You just gotta find the town you love and stay there, you know? That's the trick of the game. Buy a house, settle down, raise little kings and queens.
Alright, well, I'm gonna just go...
To the hospital and set it on fire.
Is there a hospital here?
No.
No, there's no hospital.
Was Miri's shoe store? Is that the name of it?
It's Gary Shoes.
Gary's?
You have Gary Shoes.
There are Miri's?
There's a house of mirrors.
House of Mirrors.
There's Hal's House of Mirrors.
So is it like a fun house?
Well, it's a mirror shop, but it's designed in the style of a fun house. So it's a very well-constructed mirror maze that you can buy the mirrors there if you want to buy a mirror. But it's very hard to find an employee because every time you think you're walking up to one, it's just a reflection of one. And there's a sign whenever you enter that says you have to pay for any damage you cause.
Our luck always says, fuck it, let's wander in.
Alright, you wander into the maze of mirrors. Roll me a dungeoneering check.
I'm gonna cast guidance. 16!
I feel like you're able to walk up to an employee. Roll me a perception check.
22.
Right at the last second, you realize the employee you're walking up to is a mirror. Roll me a reflex save.
20, not natural.
Alright, you just barely, don't run into this mirror. Just keep coming this way, I'm sure you'll find me, but we are closing in 20 minutes, so if you could just, do it as quickly as possible, I'd really appreciate it. My wife, Linda, she's at home with the kids, and I'm in a big hurry to get home.
I'll be like, alright, I'll be right there. I'm going to constantly just create water and throw it in front of me.
I like that, so you're able to, hit the mirrors in front of you and sort of see what's a mirror and what's not a mirror. You follow this maze all the way through. Roll me just one more dungeoneering or survival check with this.
That's 14 on survival.
You still get kind of lost in this mirror maze. You haven't walked into any mirrors, and you feel like you're not in danger of that. But all the mirrors are now covered in water. You're having a hard time seeing the employee. You don't know where you're going. You're now in the middle of the store, and the guy keeps saying, "Oh, we're closing in 3 minutes," and it gets keeping closer and closer to the time the store's closing.
Can I do a perception check on the room? How high the mirrors are, and that's 24.
Yeah, they seem to be 12-foot tall mirrors.
Is there a ceiling?
The ceiling is also made of mirror. The floors are mirrored. It's all mirrors.
Alright, I'm gonna yell at the clerk real quick. Tell me where the hell you are.
It says, "Right down the hall, sir. I'm at the end of the hallway by the cash register. If you see a mirror you like, just let me know. We can bring it up to the front for you."
I'm gonna fucking rage quit, and I'm going into fucking energy body, and I'm just gonna start flying through fucking mirrors as a pure white energy. I'm gonna flame on real quick.
Alright.
Not like heat flame, but the last light. Can you see me now? Can you tell me where you're at?
Alright, it's very bright in here now. You're now surrounded by white light. Roll me a Constitution save.
Blinded by the light.
Oh, great. 4.
So now you're in a mirror maze and you can't even see anymore. I have to feel around to find you right at the store, and there's only 1 minute until they close. You're being naturally blinded by light currently. It's a physical ailment. It might go away after a while, like snow blindness. It's probably not permanent. But definitely, I'll let you know, for at least 2 days.
You kind of just break through the ceiling above me. I got levitate.
You gonna try and levitate through the ceiling? That's pretty slow motion, but I'll let you try it.
Yeah.
Maybe a levitate plus a strength check to punch through the mirror. Whatever you think's better, man. Roll me an attack versus mirror.
No, I'll just like hold my like morning star up. It's not like Superman through it. Gives me a plus strength, so that's gonna be.
I don't sell shit.
Oh, that's free. That's a fucking 11.
Alright, yeah, you bonk your thing on the mirror and you bonk your head on the mirror. It cracks the mirror and the clerk alerts you that you owe him 50 gold for that damage.
I alert the clerk that you could have fucking helped me out the first time. You should have helped me out, and you should come help me out right now.
He says, well, I'm the only employee here and I have to stay by the cash register. It's our store policy. The store's closing in 30 seconds. You have 5 rounds.
Yeah, we're gonna start by casting Sanctuary on myself, Spirit Weapon, and for however 5 or 6 rounds that lasts, I'm just gonna have that thing go to shit on everything. Every mirror it can smash, it's going to.
Let's see
And
how
I
mirrors you
will
smash.
follow suit, bash on that ceiling while I'm levitating up.
You'll damage 8 mirrors for a total of 400 gold in damage that the clerk demands from you when he comes to gather you for store closing. He leads you out the exit and tells you never come back into his shop again after trying to collect this gold. Or else he'll call the authorities.
Apparently there is no authorities here.
He points to the face in the sky.
Nothing up there, bro.
Alright, so is that your intimidation check, diplomacy? What are you doing with me here?
Yeah.
With I've been up there, bro.
I've been up to the face in the sky. Alright, yeah, okay. I'd be like, dude, I've been up there. There's nothing up there.
He says, I don't want any trouble. He's like, I don't care what you believe. But for me, my wife Linda, and our baby daughter Jessie May, he says, we believe in the great wizard in the sky. Protect our city. And it's like, if you don't like it, you could just get out of here. And he just kicks you out of the store, whether or not you give him the money. Although he would like it much more if you give him the money. He's going to report you to the authorities, he says, either way.
Let him
What
report.
authorities? There aren't any
There aren't any authorities. You've already told me this. Also, this is a terrible business plan. You've got
The giant head in the sky starts saying alert over and over again. 3 hedge wizards, one that you saw before and 2 more, are now coming to collect you from the mirror shop. And they're sort of like grabbing you by the arms and sort of leading you toward the exit of the city.
levitate right up towards the great wizard again. Come on, bro.
Alright, roll me a strength check to lift also 3 other dudes.
14.
Yeah, not great. Your feet kind of leave the ground, so now you're upside down. They're holding your hands. 2 of them on one side, 1 on the other. Your feet are up in the air, but they're holding your hands, so you're upside down, but they're still dragging you towards the exit.
I'm gonna cast minor image of the great wizard. Just his face yelling, release this person.
Where do you cast it?
Like up in the sky.
How big can your minor illusion be?
I don't want to come. I can create it as large as 60 10-foot cubes.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably large enough to be the size of this illusion on this glass dome.
It sounds but not understandable speech. I'm just gonna have it yell. Something that they've never heard before.
Alright, so yeah, you superimpose a face over the face that's already up on the dome, and it starts going, "No!" And the mouth underneath it is like, stop that, stop doing that.
And I'm gonna tell them, like, do you not understand him? He says release.
Roll me a diplomacy or bluff check.
Yeah, that's a bluff check.
You are trying to say release him, you're just not succeeding at it.
23.
Alright, so one of the hedge wizards will come up to you and kind of eye you, like squint at you. So they're still holding your hands, but they've kind of pulled you down to, one of them's pulled you down to his face and is looking at you really closely. And he says, Spatchamon?
No comment.
Alright, roll me a diplomacy with that.
34.
Alright, they laugh. They try to do a secret handshake with you, something your father did. So with a knowledge history check, you'd be able to mimic the secret handshake.
17.
Oh man, your dad was an old hedge wizard frat brother, and he taught you the secret handshake of the hedge wizards. Yeah, you do the lawn wrangler handshake. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. They all laugh and pat you on the back and point up at the fake face that's going, they all kind of clap and laugh.
Sweet, bro.
So now like there's like 6 hedge wizards around. You still can't really understand them. They're like still talking in a language that you can't comprehend. But they seem to be like laughing, you clapping, having a good time.
Comprehend language still doesn't work.
You can get the gist of what they're saying. Like you can tell they're celebrating, you can tell they're getting along with you, they can tell they recognize your name.
Not trying to kill
But
me.
you can't understand the words. Yeah, they're not trying to kill you. They're just like hanging out in this center part of town with you, having a goofy old time. Alright, Cersei's hanging out in Covington.
Cersei hanging
out in her hut in Covington. I just had a little conversation with Jacques, and I'm going to try to get in touch with the people that I know that are in OC. I want to come find them, and I need some instruction and help to figure out how to do so. So I'm going to pop on the bracer and be like, Cersei calling Juan and Alec.
All right, both of you guys are in the first month of school, which I believe for both of you was pretty busy, but you still have your bracers on while you're in class, so if you want to like discreetly take a message while you're in class. I think both of you for your first month were left alone doing something, so towards the end of your first month, right before you learn your first new spell.
Alec got a 26.
So Alec's going to hear this message.
7 plus 8.
15, that's barely just enough, so Juan will sort of just barely, she won't be able to, I don't know, maybe you're watching the weather, so I don't know how...
Yeah, I'm in the middle of storms outside.
Yeah, so you're still going to hear the message, but I don't know how well you're going to respond.
Okay.
But both of you will hear what's going on. Alec will definitely be able to respond. Juan will be able to sort of respond without being distracted from her work. She has to watch every minute detail in the weather, and if she's distracted,
I mean,
she might fail her exam.
Anything.
Exactly.
I'm listening.
Oh, hey guys. All right. Well, I'm over here in Covington, and I've been talking to one of the head witches over here, and apparently there's this little door. I need to, in order to get into Foci, I want to come hang out with you guys, get my wizard learning on. I need to have a door opening spell, but I also heard there's a connection between a door here and some place called the broom closet in Foci.
Oh, I don't know anything about a room closet. We only came in the illusionary front door.
And I'm telling you, I don't really have a way to do that at this exact moment. But if you guys happen to know anything about a broom closet, maybe that could be helpful.
I could ask my wizard.
Ask my teacher.
A person.
Okay.
He knows anything.
Yeah, that would be well because the head witch here, weirdly, who Alec you've talked to before, mentioned that there's some sort of connection between the broom closet and this door here in Covington. So you guys could maybe open the door or figure out some way to make this connection pop off. That would be swell.
Pop. Alright, well, so in order to do this wizardy stuff, we're just like hanging out with the wizards, right? We're not like in a classroom, are we?
You were with the wizard you were with him like 18 hours a day watching the weather. I don't remember Alec's first couple months of wizard school, but I'm pretty sure it was also pretty intensive. So the period of time you guys would have to go figure this out is very, very limited amount of hours a day. So you'd be giving up one of your nights during your first semester of school, like staying out late trying to help your friend Cersei.
Well, I was actually just going to ask Barney where the room was, because I wasn't going to go searching for it. I was just going to ask somebody who I thought would know.
All right, yeah, he'll take you to the wizard tower and point to a room inside the wizard tower, and you open it up, and it's just an empty closet with a broom in it, like a janitor's closet.
And the wizard tower is that one that's like leaning.
It's leaning. It's where you do your research. It's where Yep. But there's in Info C there's a version of it, a smaller version.
How does this work? Like it looks like it's just an empty door. Is there something?
It's like there's a broom in there. How does it work?
Do I speak to the broom?
Well, this is where the janitors get the brooms from when they want to clean the tower. What are you asking?
Well, I heard that this is supposed to connect to a different city. That this is like a portal of sorts.
All I see is a broom closet.
Well, I know. I think we both know that what you see in this place isn't necessarily what anything is. So I'm not really asking what you see. I was kind of more concerned about what it actually does.
It says, well, maybe...
Have you never heard anything about this?
He says, I've heard about a lot of things. I've been studying magic for a long time. He says, but sometimes it's more fun to figure things out yourself.
Gotcha.
And he closes the door. On the outside of the door is written employees only, and beneath that is written something in the strange language which you've seen before.
Okay, well, can you show us what the symbols for that strange language are?
Yes.
Because we were super decoders last time. We can totally figure this
open,
out.
right?
It's a really hard game of Hangman.
I think this is employees only. I think it's just wizard language for employees only. But I think here that just means wizards only. We're fucking wizards.
With a Z.
Yeah. And you'll notice that same word open above most doors in the city is inscribed above every door. On the mantle above every door is the word open.
So I guess that means you just have to have a fuck ton of open spells in order to do anything here.
Yeah, at this point, Alec has not learned the open spell yet. He doesn't learn that until after he graduates from the bronze
I know,
wizard.
but I bought 2 scrolls. I bought one and used it to get into the city, so I still have a second open spell.
Yeah.
I just don't know like
I
how to.
bought back up too. Well, I never used one.
So you guys both have one. You can try to spellcraft and using this door right now.
How's your
Well,
spell
we need
craft?
to, I think we should tell Cersei to be like ready for the open spell on the other side.
Yeah,
Someone, like,
I'll go to the door that Weirdly talks about, and I'll do a spell.
The door that we already talked about is actually a broom store. It's a store that sells magical brooms, flying brooms, like room cleaning brooms, brooms that do all kinds of brooms that are wands. So you're actually in a broom store, and in the back is a door marked employees only.
Yeah, so I guess we can re-bracer Cersei again and say, you know, it's a pretty unremarkable closet on our end. It just has a broom inside of it, and it says employees only. We both have an open scroll, which we had to use to get into the city, so I'm guessing that somehow we use that, but I don't know what to do on your end.
Let me ask around about these brooms. Is there anything of interest in the broom closet?
Alright, so can I pick up
I mean, it's a
the
broom store. Like I said, there are brooms that will clean for you. There are brooms that fly that you can ride. All kinds of magic brooms that can be used as wands, brooms that can be used as weapons. All kinds of brooms. It's a broom
I
store.
don't suppose one of them happens to be a open.
You got one from
A broom of door open. I like it. Let's find out if they have something like that.
I want to pick up the broom that's in our closet.
They do have a broom of door open, but it's 6,200 gold.
Wowzer!
You know what I'm going to do as Queen Bitch Witch? I'm going to say, I am Cersei of the Black Naga Diplomacy, and I'm going to say, I know that you like to trade things, and I'm willing to make a trade to drop the price. And that's going to be a natural 1 on diplomacy.
It said you'll have to offer a pretty great trade.
You still
Or
got
something like
27.
a broom of door open. While a very common spell, very useful in this area of the world, and they know that.
I'm gonna open our door and pick up the broom that's inside of it, and I want to like bring it outside of the door and like look at it like really closely. So perception
check.
Hey, Ryan, can I roll a spellcraft to know if the spell needs to be cast from both sides or just one side?
Yeah, so Liz knows something about the broom. She pulls the broom out and looks at it. She can't even tell if it's a normal broom or a magic broom. You do your thing on the door. I think you understand from the way that the spell works for you guys to get in. If you open the door, it opens a portal. It's a one-way portal from here to somewhere else. So if you used it one time, it would probably get you to where you're going, and you have to use it another time to get back.
So it'd be an exit, not an entrance for someone else.
Yeah.
Can you take 2 people through? Like if you were to take my scroll with you?
Yeah.
Hey, how about I just buy
It stays open for a limited amount of time.
Can I just buy the broom? And
You got that much gold? You can blow that much gold on the broom of open.
Is it a multi-use broom? Can you
It
use
is
this
charged.
over
It is
and over
charged
again?
with 40 charges of the spell open. You can do
Holy
it 40
crap.
times, and then after that, he has to recharge it for it to work again. You just have to tap it on any door 3 times, and the door will magically open, locked or not. It works on any door, not just for this wizard's town. Like any door you want to enter in the future.
Well,
so any normal physical lock, you can just open magically.
That's great.
Well, a witch should have a broom anyway. I mean, it's
Yeah.
might as well be a magical door opening broom. All right, I'm gonna walk back there and tap it 3 times.
All right, you walk back to the employees only door in the back of the store. A lot of the employees are watching you, but you tap the door 3 times with your broom of open. You open the door. It's a sparkling, glittering portal to some unknown place.
I'm gonna walk through it.
You walk through and appear in the broom closet in the casting tower of the Earth Research Library, the center of the hub of knowledge in Foci.
Hooray! Hello!
Yeah, Alec and Juwan are there.
Yeah, it's been a while, guys. It's been a while. You guys
That's
totally
crazy.
bailed on me and went off to
Yeah,
do.
they're like a month deep in wizard school by the time you catch up to them.
You guys want to help me get enrolled here? Let me meet a friend of yours, maybe.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to the person who isn't very helpful at finding
Yeah,
classes.
the really crappy wizard
the
advisor.
terrible advisor.
You go to the wizard advisor who says, "What do you want?"
Do a perception check. There's whiskey in that coffee.
Alright. That's going to be a 22.
There is whiskey in the coffee.
Yeah, there's whiskey in the coffee. But this advisor still seems to just want to know what you want to do, and they're going to try and direct you in that direction. They will list the schools of wizardry are there if you'd like to look at a...
Yeah, a course catalog.
Yeah, there's abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. So I think a lot of those you're going to use your base knowledge as a human of what Cersei would already know about those different schools. And after that, if you want to know more, you can roll some knowledge arcana checks on the different ones if you want to delve any deeper into what that might mean. This advisor is willing to help you, but only so much in the... If you just tell her what you want or tell him what you want, I don't know which one of these it is. I don't care.
I would ask my cohorts here. I'm like, what did you guys do?
Yeah, they're a month into their schools. So they can tell you what schools they chose and the things that they've been doing. You guys are just about to learn your first spell, but you haven't yet. So for like the whole first month, you just like shook hands with the guy. You're like, yeah, well, I don't know. I've been shaking hands with my professor for like a month. I paid 3,000 gold, and I've basically been shaking hands for 30 days. And Juan says, I've been standing outside, taking notes on the weather for 30 days. You guys haven't learned anything yet. You're just like kind of complaining about how much hard work it is. You've told him the 2 schools you've chosen and what you've been doing for the past month almost.
You chose evocation. How about you, Juan?
I was transmutation.
None of these are really popping off to me besides necromancy or enchantment.
You should roll to get the advisor to explain them further to you.
Alright, I'll roll for that. Roll a little diplomacy. Try to, 28.
Alright, so you're being very diplomatic. The advisor will offer to try to explain a school more in depth to you if you can tell her what school you're interested in.
Alright,
He.
I mean, I know necromancy. I wouldn't really have to ask about that. Let's go with enchantment.
Enchantment is all about affecting the minds of others, influencing their behavior. A lot of mind-affecting spells. They grant you influence over other creatures. So for you, that would be things like, you'd be familiar with spells like Charm.
That's pretty much right up my alley. That's kind of,
Yeah.
but I'm already pretty diplomatic, so...
This would just make you, this would give you more power in that regard. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, I think like that and necromancy both kind of speak to your character. Which you would now be revealed to, like, these are the kind of things you'd be getting into.
Pretty much, I feel like, enchantment and necromancy are right up my alley. That's Cersei to a T. Alright,
one of those two is
info on necromancy, just to make sure I know what I'm stepping into.
On an arcana, or is that diplomacy again?
Either a 35 or a 31.
They both are good enough. We'll say diplomacy again, that you sweet talk. They'll talk about to you about controlling the undead, what happens after life. Something you're already pretty familiar with. They already say, well, you're Urgathoan, obviously. They can tell by...
and Samsarin, by the way.
And Samsarin, yeah. So they kind of already assume you have a grasp on the afterlife and life after death.
Do I just,
you choose one, and they will charge you $3,000, and they'll assign you to an apprenticeship with a great wizard of one of these schools.
Can I get a little input from my patrons?
Yeah, they're around. You can go to the bar after you talk to the advisor and maybe hang out for a drink and discuss with them what school you think you should do.
Why not be better at something you're already good at, necromancy?
I'm already good at both of those things, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're really good at people. Your diplomacy is off the charts. Necromancy is something you could be even better at.
All right.
That's pretty neat stuff.
Juan, are you on board with that? I know that you're all about, life and, druidism and whatnot, but...
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was taking notes, I actually wrote down Cersei-type stuff.
Okay, well then, yeah, alright, well, I'm gonna sign up full-on necromancy. I'll submit 3,000 gold.
Further can audit the course with you. Like, no, he's with me. He kind of sits in class with you, and he acts kind of dumb. He says, obviously, they don't seem too worried about it.
It could also be someone that I can experiment on, for my, I can practice on.
You are now studying under Spangle of the Spirits, who has agreed to teach you 4 spells in this 6-month course. Follow his directions to a T.
Yeah, really. Spangle. What a necromancer. I'm a part of the Seduction, and I'm going to need to return for the full moon every month just to reconnect with my ladies.
As long as that doesn't interfere with your studies, it's totally fine.
Alright, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and start spamming the time along with these guys.
Alright, so yeah, you're a month behind them in school, but you still are going to be learning at a similar type of pace, so you'll finish school a month after they do.
I'm going to give them invitations to my graduation.
I'm sure they'll come, they'll be around. They'll have time off from Earth studying and hedge wizarding. Your first month of learning with this wizard...
Spangle of the Spirits.
Yeah, Spangle comes up and gives you a chicken bone with some meat on it, like that he's already taken a couple bites out of, but he gives you what's left. And so basically class for you, the first month of class is like a minute long. Like every day you show up for a snack, and he gives you a chicken bone, and then he like waves at you goodbye. So the first month you have a shit ton of free time. Yeah,
I'm going to keep all the bones, of course.
Yeah, you keep all the bones after eating the piece of meat. And at the end of the month, it comes time for both you to learn the spell and you to do your ritual. So the night before your big exam, you need to cast open on a door at the broom closet here at college to return to the broom store.
Yep.
During business hours, preferably.
Yeah.
So you show up around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, early for the party, and you party with your witch friends all night long. You get drunk, you get laid for the first time in a month.
It's been nice, yeah.
And now you're able to learn another spell. Cersei can invite you to it, but if you're a male, you're not going to be welcome. If you're female, you're only going to be welcome if you're willing to become some sort of witch. It is a witchual party. It is only open to witches. So you stay up late at your party, you do your witch dance, you get your freak on, listen to all the new popular witch house music. At the end of the night, you're around the fire, and you were taught a new magic word by an older witch. The word is Soother. S-U-T-H upside down E-R. It's a healing word, a soothing touch word. As long as you speak the word Soother out loud, if the target of this word spell is dying, they're automatically stabilized by you saying the word Soother. And doing that's a level 0 spell. But also if you boost it to a level 1 spell, you can cure someone of being shaken, sickened, or fatigued. Instantly. It's an instant move, so you can do it as a swift. So once a week, you can end one of those. If you boost it for level 1, you can end one of those conditions. Or for level 0, you can stabilize someone automatically.
That's pretty dope. I like it.
And then you stay up all night and return to wizard class the next day.
Alright, well, I'm going to spend a lot of that time trying to reconstruct this chicken.
Alright, so you're going to use all the bones and try to put a chicken back together. That shows initiative. You're going to show up to the last day of class with that. The professor's going to laugh and lay it on the ground, pull out a new piece of meat, and hand it to you, and nod at you, like, knowingly.
I will try to use that last piece of, where you say maybe I was missing a wing or a drumstick or something like that. I'm going to try to attach it and cast Animate Dead.
Alright, you cast Animate Dead, and he claps a little bit. He whispers into your ear the secret of Control Undead. So then as long as you have a bone and a piece of raw meat in your hand, and there are fried chicken buckets available here in town that come with 12 pieces. But as long as you have one of these buckets of raw meat, and you say finger licking good, they allow you to control undead creatures for a short period of time. Yep. Once a day, at 1 minute per level, whatever the highest level spell you can cast. Command them by voice, no matter what language you speak, they'll understand you. The controlled undead will not attack you as long as you're controlling them. At the end of the spell, they will revert to their normal behavior, but unintelligent undead creatures may remember you control them and seek revenge afterwards, but unintelligent ones won't, of course. So not strong undead, but weaker undead, you can control for 1 minute per level within 25 feet plus 5 feet per every 2 levels of caster that you are. As long as you got a piece of bone and a raw meat. So it is, you do need a material component for these spells. This next 2 months of class, the professor makes you wake up very early every day. Earlier and earlier every day. You show up tired every day, and he makes you do like really hard work until you're exhausted in like the hottest part of the day.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? Definitely once a week, I'm just going to soother myself and remove the fatigue.
Yeah, remove it. So that's good that you have that spell already from your witch thing. So you to remove the fatigue once a week and you feel cool. You have a weekend break. Go out and get drunk and cast Soother on yourself. Spend a couple gold on some drinks at the local tavern with your friend Alec. I'm sure you go out drinking and relaxing some on the weekend. You're Ergothon. So do subtract a couple gold for that. We'll assume that's what your part of your Soother is also, is your Soother weekend break. 20-ish over the period of this.
That's fair.
A couple months. Not a whole lot.
I would buy Alex some drinks. He would buy me some drinks.
Yeah. So I'm saying I'm sure it would go around. I'm sure you can get I'm sure you get other men to buy you drinks as well. You're a pretty lady at the bar. I'm sure you do fine.
But all I can give out is handies.
Yeah. Well, I can get you a long way in a wizard town. A lot of nerds here, dude. But at the end of the month, you're super exhausted. You're really tired. Spangle walks up to you, hits you on the back, and says, "Rockabye, baby."
The necro spell?
Yep, that's the somatic component of the spell that you have to say for this to work. So your silent spell does not excuse you from these because these are bonus spells, so you actually do have to say this stuff. If you say that out loud, it will cause waves of negative energy, causing all limited creatures in the spell's area to become exhausted.
Cool.
Has no effect on creatures that are already exhausted, but you create a cone-shaped burst that goes out 60 feet, spreading as it gets farther away from you, of course. There's no saving throw, it's instant. It's a standard action, so you can cast it as a standard. As long as you say those magic words, you can create a cone of exhaustion. So during those 2 months, you've had 2 more times to go party back home. So you get 2 more words at these parties. You go do your thing again, get finger banged. You learn the word spurk, which is an instant effect. You do this once a week. It deals 1d4 points of electricity damage when you say the word to a single target. Requires a melee range or touch attack. Does not allow a saving throw. Although a reflex save will half the damage.
I'm gonna play a little joke on my friend Alec. I'm gonna spurk him next time we meet up at the bar.
Oh, so you meet up at the bar and you like shake his hand.
That's like a 20.
Touch AC.
Without any armor.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
So you spurk him.
He takes 2 damage, and then I'm gonna immediately hex heal him.
That was hilarious.
I buy him a drink, of course.
Yeah, you guys have been hanging out the Unlikely Owl a lot, so the tavern starts serving you some of their local brew, the Witch's Brew. And the barkeep and his owl familiar. The owl actually like brings over the bottle and the bartender serves it. It's like one of the it's like, only locals get this kind of treatment. After you drink it, it causes bungle on you for the next D20 attack or checks spell. So when you're drinking it at the bar, you can't.
We're gonna drink it.
Well, you do. You're hanging out. You guys are locals now. But at the bar, it's dangerous to cast spells because you have the curse of bungle upon you for some number of rounds that you don't know. Which right now is 10 rounds, so a minute. So after you drink it, you got a minute of bungle.
I did just smirk him, but that was before I took a drink.
Yeah, it was before you took a drink, and then you guys drank together and cheers.
We're local.
Become locals in our imaginary landscape, and tune in next time for more Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater.